In today's lesson, we're going to learn Spanish using a story, and you have to complete, okay? So remember, vocabulary is key if you really want to speak Spanish. By the way, you can download this document, this PDF, so you can review later, okay? But let's start. ¿Cómo dices your Spanish is amazing? You're going to say, tu español, ¿cómo dices is amazing in this case? Tu español es sorprendente, amazing, ¿cierto? Sorprendente. ¿Cómo dices I have practiced for month? Okay, here you have por meses, for month. ¿Cómo dices I have practiced? Try to answer faster than me, okay? And by the way, you have a course when I'm going to show you all the grammar you need to understand all my stories, okay? You're going to say, yo he, this is going to be okay? Yo he practicado. If you don't know this grammar, just let me know in the comments. But you have a course for this, okay? On YouTube here, on my channel. Yo he practicado por meses, okay? This is I call this pasado tres, pretérito imperfecto. By the way, here in this document, when you download this, you can see all of this, okay? This is like the summary. Pretérito perfecto pasado tres, okay? Yo he, en ado. Yo he practicado por meses, I have practiced for months. ¿Y cómo dices but I still can't speak? But I still can't speak. Still is going to be todavía, right? So you're going to say, pero yo no puedo, can't, no puedo. ¿Y cómo dices speak? Hablar. Okay? So try to learn all of these words, okay? For instance, I still can't speak. Yo todavía no puedo hablar, okay? Remember, you don't have to learn just vocabulary word by word. You have to learn sentences, as I always tell you, okay? So, tu español es sorprendente. Yo he practicado por meses, pero yo todavía no puedo hablar, okay? Person number one, muy bien. Let's go here. Persona número B, o letra B. ¿Cómo dices I studied with focus? Okay, here you have con concentración, right? With focus, con concentración. So you're going to say, ¿cómo dices I studied? First of all, this is pasado uno, okay? Pretérito indefinido. As you can see here, pretérito indefinido, pasado uno, okay? I studied. First of all, you need to know the verb. To study es estudiar. So you have to conjugate now. You're going to say, yo estudié. Okay. Yo estudié. I studied with focus. Yo estudié con concentración. 30 minutes every day because 30 minutos cada día porque ¿cómo dices I really enjoyed the language? You're going to say yo and really. You're going to say realmente. Okay. Remember this. Mente. Realmente. ¿Cómo dices to enjoy? Remember, again, verbs are key. Okay. Realmente, to enjoy, disfrutar. Okay. Es un verbo tipo, I call this tipo 1, tipo AR, so you have to use the conjugation. So, realmente, this is pasado dos, pretérito imperfecto. Okay, pretérito imperfecto, as you can see here, pasado dos. So, realmente, enjoyed, disfruté. Realmente, disfruté. Y the language, el idioma. So, you're going to say, I really enjoyed the language. Yo realmente disfruté el idioma. Muy bien. ¿Cómo dices? I used to study only sometimes. Persona A. I used to study only sometimes. You're going to say, okay, here, this is pasado dos. Okay, pretérito imperfecto. You can review this later when you download the document. Pasado dos. So you're going to say, yo, to study, estudiar, so you have to conjugate. Yo estudiaba, ¿cierto? Yo estudiaba. Only, solo, and sometimes, a veces. So, ¿cómo dices? That's why I got stuck. That's why, por eso, ¿cierto? Por eso, ¿cómo dices I got stuck? Okay, to get stuck, it's a new verb for you. Estancarse, okay? Estancarse. And it's reflexive. Por eso me estanqué. Okay? Por eso me estanqué. Muy bien. If you don't understand any conjugation, you can ask me in the comments below. But also you can watch my course on YouTube, okay, on my channel. Let's continue. So that's why I got stuck. Por eso me estanqué. Okay, persona B. I got stuck too. Yo también me estanqué. But I understood. ¿Cómo dices eso? To understand, entender, right? And I understood, pero, you're going to say here, pero entendí, right? Pero entendí que that learning a language is like, that learning a language, you're going to say que aprender. Aprender a language, un idioma, es como physical training, el entrenamiento físico. Okay, so repeat after me. Yo también me estanqué, pero entendí que aprender un idioma es como el entrenamiento físico. Muy bien. Continuemos. Ok. Persona A dice, what do you mean? Okay, how do you say that? You need to know that. What do you mean? We're going to say, ¿qué quieres? ¿Qué quieres decir? Right? ¿Qué quieres decir? If you get stuck in the gym, how do you say that? Si tú te estancas en el gimnasio, ¿cómo dices? How do you say, what do you do? What do you do? You need to know that if you are an intermediate level. Even as a beginner, you need to know that. What do you do? It's going to be ¿qué tú haces? O ¿qué haces? Right? What do you do? ¿Qué haces? So, ¿qué quieres decir? Si tú te estancas en el gimnasio, ¿qué haces? Persona B. If your routine becomes too easy, muy fácil, right? Like this lesson, maybe, or maybe not. Too easy. ¿Cómo dices to become in this context? If your routine, si tu rutina becomes too easy, you're going to use the verb, reflexive verb, volverse, okay? Volverse. So, it's reflexive, se vuelve, okay? Muy fácil. You will never train less time. How do you say that? You will never train less time, menos tiempo. So you're going to say tú, then you have to use never. Tú nunca. Okay, and now good train. This is conditional, okay? Remember, conditional is ia. Here you have, okay? In the summary. So, tú nunca, to train, entrenar. So you're going to say, tú nunca entrenarías. Remember to study the grammar so then you can understand Spanish easily, okay? If your routine becomes too easy, si tu rutina se vuelve muy fácil, you would never train less time. Tú nunca entrenarías menos tiempo. Or with less intensity, o con menos intensidad, ¿ok? O con menos intensidad, ¿ok? Siguiente. I hope you are understanding. Ok. Persona A, to improve. Okay, here, when you start a verb like this, a sentence like this, most of the time you're going to say para. ¿Y cómo dices improve? Mejorar. Ok, es un verbo tipo 1, AR. So you're going to say para, to improve, para mejorar. You don't have to conjugate here. This is just general. Para mejorar, you would add more time. You already know the conditional, but you need to know this one. You're going to say añadir. To add is añadir. Okay, so you're going to say tú, añadir, but it's conditional, so remember, ia, añadir, añadirías, right? Añadirías more time, más tiempo. ¿Cómo dices and more effort to the workout? Y más esfuerzo al entrenamiento. Okay. Remember, you can study this on your own also when you download this, because you have this page and then you have the same but with this. Okay, so you can test yourself. That's the key. You can use this video, also you can study on your own. Okay, so you have many options. Persona A, you're going to say, so I didn't lower my effort. Así que no bajé mi esfuerzo. ¿Cómo dices I increase my daily time? My daily time, mi tiempo diario, right? So you're going to say I increased. Yo, to increase, incrementar. Okay, remember you need to know the verbs. Yo incrementé. Yo incrementé mi tiempo diario and look for harder videos. ¿Cómo dices and look for in the past? Yo, right? Y yo, the verb is buscar. So you're going to say y busqué. Busqué harder videos, videos más difíciles. Okay, so read after me. Así que no bajé mi esfuerzo. Yo incrementé mi tiempo diario y busqué videos más difíciles. Muy bien. Continuemos. Persona A, I'm stuck because, okay, you already know this. I am stuck. Yo estoy. And how do you say this adjective in this context? Estancado. Okay. Yo estoy estancado porque, ¿cómo dices? How do you say I'm always doing? Yo, right? Then you have to put the adverb. Yo siempre estoy. ¿Cómo dices doing? Okay, this is presente 2. Yo siempre, as you can see here, presente continuo, presente 2. Yo siempre estoy. En hacer es un verbo acá. Okay, so you're going to say, yo siempre estoy doing, haciendo, right? Yo siempre estoy haciendo, because to do, hacer. ¿Y cómo dices the same easy exercises? Los mismos ejercicios fáciles. Okay, but by the way, you have to master easy exercises if you want to be fluent in Spanish. If you can do the easy exercises, let alone you will be able to do the intermediate or advanced exercises. Okay, so let's continue. Siguiente. Yes, if you want to progress, if it's going to be sí also, but without accent mark. Okay, so if you want to progress, si tú quieres, okay, to want, querer, si tú quieres, ¿cómo dices progress? Si tú quieres progresar, remember you don't have to conjugate the second verb most of the time. Your brain will need more volume. ¿Cómo dices your brain will need? Okay, your brain is going to be tú without accent mark. Tu brain, cerebro, Ok. Tu cerebro will need. Este es el futuro 2. Futuro 2. Futuro simple. Futuro 2. Necesitar. Ok. Tu cerebro. Necesitar. You have to conjugate. Necesitará. Ok. Necesitará. More volume, más volumen y más. Como dices, intensity. We already studied this word. Y más intensidad. Okay, remember this rule. Sometimes it works like city, ciudad. Okay, intensity, intensidad. Not always, but many times. Siguiente. Persona A. That makes sense. How do you say that? That makes sense. You need to know these kind of phrases because we use them all the time. That makes sense. Eso tiene sentido. Okay. Eso tiene sentido. That makes sense. Tomorrow I will change my routine. How do you say that? Tomorrow I will change my routine. Tomorrow, mañana, I will change. Yo, do you know how to say to change? Cambiar, okay, cambiar. So you have to conjugate. Futuro 2. Yo cambiaré. Yo cambiaré my routine, mi rutina. And I will study more. I will study more. Y yo estudiaré más. Okay. Remember again, verbs are the key if you really want to improve your Spanish. And now I'm going to show you how you can download this. I'm going to put a link here so you can access to my materials. All of this is free, by the way. You can you can be a member of the channel, and so you can support me to create the materials, and you will have access to, and you can download this in PDF and you can practice on your own. You have this first, and then you have the answers. Okay. Then like this, I study. How do you say that? Yo estudié. So you can check your answers. I used to study. Yo estudiaba. Okay. And also, let me know what grammar you don't know, so I will include that video to the grammar course that I'm creating. I really want you to improve your Spanish. Remember to use your Spanish every single day. Usa tu español todos los días and learn a lot of vocabulary, but not just vocabulary, sentences.